The rift between Western powers and the Islamic world seems to be growing as protests over insults to Prophet Muhammad continue. Iranians angry over French cartoons have descended on the French embassy in Tehran, chanting and burning flags. But rallies were banned in Tunisia, fearing violence after Friday prayers. In Pakistan, thousands clashed with police, furious over the US-made anti-Islam film. Security forces fired tear gas and warning shots to push crowds back from the American embassy. Some 50 people have been injured. Pakistani TV channels are showing clips of President Obama denouncing the film, which it's hoped will calm the protesters. But as RT's Gaynat Chakan reports, many believe Washington's efforts in the region seem counterproductive.
As anti-American fury rages on across the world, it also raises the question whether Washington's efforts to export democracy to Muslim nations have instead radicalized the region. In Libya, radical Islamists are on the rise, especially in the part of the country which the U.S. helped to, quote-unquote, liberate in the first place.
A source familiar with Ambassador Stevens' thinking says that in the months before his death, he talked about being worried about what he called the never-ending security threats, specifically in Benghazi. This source telling us that the ambassador specifically mentioned the rise in Islamic extremism.
With the country's internal situation getting increasingly unstable, Libya now appears to be as far as it can get from the route that Washington envisioned for the Libyans when NATO went bombing the country.
Our goal is focused, our cause is just, and our coalition is strong.
Having also cheered on the revolution in Egypt, the Obama administration is now unclear whether they ended up with a more friendly or a more hostile country.
I don't think that we would consider them an ally, but we don't consider them an enemy.
But looking at their flags burning and mobs chanting "Death to America," many Americans ask themselves,
doesn't the widespread unrest in the Muslim world mean the president's policies there are flawed or maybe dangerously naive?
I don't think it requires a degree in atomic physics to grasp the reality that in the Islamic world, democratization means Islamization. I believe that the US State Department and the policymaking community in Washington were blinded by their own ideological blinkers.
In Afghanistan, Washington's efforts to make friends also seem to have failed. Afghan police and soldiers have killed more than 50 US and coalition troops this year alone. And many of the attackers have been trained and armed by the US.
Their basic loyalty is to their family and to their tribe. You're not going to upset and change 2,000 years of cultural momentum. You can influence it, but you cannot change it. So this is where we have to be smarter about how we proceed. Doing the same thing over and over will not get us better results.
Washington is actively backing armed rebel groups in Syria, again, with no guarantee that those who they help now will not turn into their #1 enemies eventually, just like Al-Qaeda did.
It may be that the U.S. sees its mission as one where it has to intervene wherever it can. But the strategy has been shown to backfire time and time again, with the U.S. ending up supporting forces who then turn their arms against America. In Washington, I'm Gaynat Chakan.